Hey, and welcome back to Full Screen Attack. Heartbreak feels good at a table like this. We were literally just talking about that trailer. Full Screen Attack is Attack of the Show's movie podcast where we give G4 staff picks for the current streaming library that is basically our modern day video store. And this week, we're specifically doing musicals, and not just any musicals, the ones that you put on when you need a little bit of comfort. And for some of you at home, that might be Repo or Singing in the Rain or South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. But everyone's musical is personal to them, and I'm very excited to have my guest joining me today. Most of you know her from around the office and from our socials team, but Kendelle Lynn.
Hello.
Wow. I've had too much caffeine today.
My mom says Kendelle.
Kendelle?
But I've been saying Kendall my entire life.
Wow.
So who's right here, Mom?
I'm calling it you. And then joining me from hanging out over an hour ago.
Yeah,
Courtney
literally. Hello, 'tis I, Courtney.
I'm really excited that the both of you are joining me for this specific episode because I feel like this can cover a zillion different things. But what are both of your relationships with musicals specifically?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like everybody has seen Singing in the Rain. You know, like that's the classic.
That's like the zenith. That's the one that everybody has seen and regards as like the apex of a thing.
But I definitely was one of those kids that like wanted my life to be a musical, you know, on the road trips with your headphones in, head leaning against the window, listening, whatever song is your musical right now. Like that, I was always imagining myself in them, always wanted to be in them, still on my bucket list. But for now, just watch them all the time.
There's still time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Kendall?
Same. I would say like Filipino culture, everyone just knows how to dance and sing.
Ah.
Not really me, but just everybody else.
I'm also the odd duck in terms of like Latinos that can dance and sing. And
yeah, so that's my longing for musicals.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I could be a part of that if only.
I think there's something about musicals also very similar to like action movies or anything else that's really over the top that asks you to buy in to it, where there's like such a big level of like surrendering to how over the top that it can be, that I love musicals for the same reason that I watch Jean-Claude Van Damme pull a spine out of a guy, and that I don't need it to be real. I just need it to be entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Fast and Furious movies are basically just like camp. They're camp.
They're
comedy. They're all of it. It's the same level.
And I think musicals from back then to now are the kind of thing, especially like in the Singing in the Rain era of musicals, where you'd see the actors that are like the multi-hyphenates, like the people that can do everything, where they can't just act, they can sing, they can dance, they can hit choreo. It's where you saw like the original like stars come out to play. Mm-hmm. So I want to start with our first musical that was selected, and I've already said over the top, but I don't think it quite reaches what this one is. But
oh my gosh.
For our first Scroll Busters, which is our picks for what you should watch on streaming this weekend. And by the way, for any questions for me, Courtney, or Kendall, please use !Q. What did you pick for your first streaming Scroll Buster?
Oh my gosh. This one I've seen a lot of times and probably was way too young when I first saw it, but Moulin Rouge, starring Ewan McGregor and Kate McKinnon or Kate?
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Hello. Okay. But it's 2001, and it's one of those musicals that's like, it's not original music. It has Queen. Mm-hmm. It has like
Nirvana.
But they're
Beatles.
Reproduced. Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's reproduced, and it is the most showboaty, most extravagant love story set in like basically like a saloon or like
an actual place that exists in Paris, I believe.
Yes, yeah, and at Universal Studios, but you can't go inside. It's just a sign.
I know my parents went. My dad mostly was just angry about how dirty it was and how many like half naked women there were. You know the way that like dads are.
The opposite of what I would expect a man to feel when entering a place like that.
Ooh, it's dirty. Ooh,
naked women. Ew.
I remember when this movie coming out, it having a similar like pop culture phenomena, the way that like Lord of the Rings took over the conversation for a bit. I remember the MTV Music Awards being all about Moulin Rouge and the casting of those actors at the time. Like, I know originally Leonardo DiCaprio, who had previously worked with the director Baz Luhrmann on Romeo and Juliet, actually auditioned for the role of Christian, as did Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal before Ewan McGregor originally got it. And I can't think of it being anybody else than him.
Well, and that's crazy because Leo ended up being in another one of his songs, The Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was previously on a Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, right. Duh.
Another one that I absolutely adore. But why do you put this movie on when you need to feel better?
It's because I love all the songs in it, like as they are, but they are reproduced and just so good. But as a kid, I only knew the soundtrack and like the audio of the movie because I was too young to watch it. But my siblings always listened to the soundtrack, and back then on iTunes and things like that, the dialogue and the lines were all still on the track. Because nowadays you can get just the song. So
like it's clipped out.
Yeah. And then when I finally saw the movie, it was so much more than I ever expected, like so visually stimulating. It's almost like the director knew with some of those shots of like the ringleader, the like where it's like those shots are like, oh, that's burned into my brain forever because it was shot so uniquely.
It was like DMT for baby Courtney.
Yeah, it was like a burst of energy and probably like a sexual awakening as well.
100%.
I will say, like, I feel like I've noticed that it's having like a TikTok resurgence because people love Ewan McGregor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he has a lovely, lovely voice in that movie. I just love him so much.
I think I miss this era of musicals in which the actual like big name actors were cast could also sing.
That was like the first time I realized both of them could sing.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, these are their real voices?
Yeah.
Him and Nicole Kidman, who, by the way, Courtney Love actually auditioned for Satine as well. What? She didn't get the part, but she gave them permission to use Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Wow.
But imagine a Courtney Love Satine.
Wow.
Oh, my God. What was your relationship with Moulin Rouge?
It was like something that was just on, and I instantly fell in love with the visuals. I love Baz Luhrmann. But it was specifically, I don't know, I guess younger, I was like so into love. And I love the Elephant Love medley, and that's what really hooked me into the movie.
Oh my God, Elephant Love. That was the scene that I saw out of context that made me want to watch it, because I think you were talking about it a little bit before, but I was also like not allowed to watch it because I was too young. And there was a lot, they were just like, there's too much like sexual connotation into it, which made me want to watch it.
Even more?
Like, don't say that. Like, I'm going to watch it now.
It made it forbidden fruit for me. Fun fact, the production overran its shooting schedule, and they had to be out of the sound stages to make way for Star Wars Episode 2, which also starred Ewan McGregor. So he literally just lived on the same sound stage for like an eternity.
Busy man.
Stay booked, Ewan McGregor. And
Stay.
the only original song, Come What May, was actually for Romeo and Juliet.
Wow.
And they didn't use it, and they ended up using it on this one, and that was like the song of the year.
I'm getting chills.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it happened that way, because that scene, he's just like outside, and it's like...
Chemistry. Remember the early 2000s, like actor chemistry? Lena was showing me specifically a clip, shout out to producer Lena, who just produced the feedback, the clip of the MTV VMAs in which Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling went Best Kiss, and then they kissed on stage.
Oh my God.
To Adam Levine's They Will Be Loved Playing, which did not age well.
No, but wow. Chemistry hit different back then, you know?
100%.
Because then the actors would be dating for several months after and then have a disastrous breakup.
Yeah.
Now,
just movie things.
This is a musical I've seen a million times before, but you picked a musical I've never seen before. So I was like, I'm going to watch it for the first time so that I can make sure I can like talk about it and be up to speed. And let me tell you, when I was absolutely wholly unprepared for every second of what transpired, because I didn't know what this musical was about, but yours is also streaming on Hulu. What did you pick, Kendelle?
I picked the first Mamma Mia, which is gonna be a 3-part movie franchise, by the way.
Trilogy.
There's a third one coming?
It's supposed to be 3, and they just announced, like, maybe this year, that they're finally revisiting the third one.
Wow.
But it's like, not that I was old enough when this came out to drink wine, but it's like the perfect mom wine movie.
Yeah. I don't drink wine, but I want wine when I'm watching
100%.
I don't drink wine, but I was on a substance when I enjoyed Mamma Mia, because I felt like I had to be. the cast list looked phenomenal, and I'm a huge ABBA fan.
Yeah, because the whole thing
yeah.
is ABBA songs, right?
Yes.
It's just beginning to end ABBA, which, by the way, I did not know sung in English until I was like 10 years old. I thought they only sang in Spanish because that's what my parents listened to.
Whoa.
Because ABBA has an album in their original language, one in English and also in Spanish.
Wow.
But why don't you tell us what Mamma Mia is about? Because I just finished it and I'm still not sure. But I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It was absolute wonderful chaos. I think it's what like the last few synapses of my brain is going to fire before I die.
Yeah, so Mamma Mia is about Meryl Streep's character. She has a daughter. They live in Greece, and that daughter is getting married. But then she's like, who's my dad? Oh, I found my mom's diary. Oh, during the time I could have been conceived, she was with 3 other men. Who is my dad? You know what? I'm just going to invite all 3 of them to my wedding and figure it out then.
It's not going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's not going to be bad.
She was like, I'll know by seeing them. And by the way, I was losing my mind at the first 15 minutes because it's literally Amanda Seyfried being like, my mom boned down back in the day.
Yeah.
And like being really psyched to tell her friends, like, they're all hooked on the nanny. Like,
It's wild. It's wild. I don't know how I would feel if I found my mom's diary and I had things like that. I'd probably be like, but I'm not
feel
looking
like I
for
would
my
read
dad,
it.
I guess. I don't know.
exactly.
I would read it, especially if she puts ... as the deed.
Okay,
I would be like, okay, I can read this.
Yeah.
That's palatable, I think.
It was heavily implied that she was dotting all over the island for several days, dotting several different gents that were thrilled to dot with her, and honestly had such a good relationship with her and their dotting that they didn't feel jealous or weird about being in the same room, which I loved, actually. I thought there was going to be like we like all hooked up with the same woman, and instead they were like kind of friends over how
Super
good the
supportive.
So
was.
good. I love it.
They're all supporting of each other and like, you love her, I love her. We
I love
should
that.
support this daughter and just be her 3 dads.
I love movies with good like men like relationships. Like it reminds me of Princess Bride, where it's just these guys get together and they're just buds. It's so sweet.
That's another movie that was a late in life discovery for me because I was like, I don't like fantasy.
Oh, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my husband made me watch it, and I'm like, this is one of the most important pieces of media.
So good.
So watching Mamma Mia, which by the way was wholly surprised by the ending, which is a bunch of dudes being like, we don't care which one's the dad, we're all going to be 1/3 her dad.
So sweet.
Sweet. Supporting men, we love it.
Yep.
Men supporting men. Why do you put on Mamma Mia when you feel like you need comfort or something to make you feel better?
1, it's the songs. But 2, I feel like I can revisit my sexual awakening.
All right.
Which one of them was the one that did it for you?
It was what's his name? Dominic. I forgot his name. It was like the lay all your love on me scene.
Oh yeah.
Them on the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like such a fun time, and like they're not worried about being the best singer, being the best dancer. They're just literally living on this island. I felt like the whole movie was like, let's just go to Greece for 2 months and make a movie.
Yeah, they belted that song out.
It really did.
It's a good one.
The where they shot it in Greece was absolutely gorgeous.
You can like feel the sun through
Yeah.
the TV. Like,
But also Meryl Streep is Meryl Streeping all over this movie.
she put her. I almost said. She put her whole
dot.
Yes, let's say ...
She put her whole dot into it.
Yeah, she really did. The kicking and the physicality. I'm like, I've never seen this. This is amazing.
The entire time I was like, I don't think Meryl Streep has ever undersold or underperformed anything in her whole goddamn life. I can't think of a single, from like Miranda Priestley's to like Cry in the Dark. Meryl Streep puts everything into everything. So when I saw her in Mamma Mia, I was like, she is an ABBA song. I was really surprised by this movie. More surprising, the budget was $52 million. It grossed $611 million.
Here's a fun fact. In 2008, which is when it came out, it beat Iron Man worldwide. Not domestically, but worldwide.
Wow.
How much of a phenomenon this was. And I can't believe I missed it.
Oh my
Correct me
god.
if I'm wrong, chat, but
That's insane.
We have a chat question from Gunpei a Boy. Which Mamma Mia Papa would you ...
Love that. Love that.
Colin Firth.
I think mine's the guy, the one
Is it the one that can't sing?
with
Pierce
the guitar.
Brosnan?
I like the one with the dark hair.
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. That
Colin
one's mine.
Firth. You would also dot.
I would also ... Colin Firth, specifically because of like Bridget Jones, but also Kingsman, because he had that incredible fight scene set to Freebird, and I remember watching it in the theater and being like, "Oh, something is waking up inside of me."
I think we're all in agreement
that it's Colin Firth.
Yes, 100%.
Nice.
Pierce Brosnan seems a little too uptight for me.
Yeah. Plus,
And
why is he in this movie? He can't sing.
Let's definitely talk about that, because that is not the first time an actor has been cast in a musical that cannot sing.
Oh yeah.
Who is the Les Mis?
Which one?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
there's a lot of actors that couldn't sing.
Oh, I mean the one we're talking about later.
Russell Crowe.
Yes. I was going to say Russell Brand for a second.
Grease
Russell Brand can sing.
Yeah.
Grease 2 is like my other secret comfort watch, but the male lead, he's gorgeous but can't sing.
No. And
At all.
There's a couple, and you see them start to happen kind of post that big musical boom, because back in the early days, you have Gene Kelly, you have Debbie Reynolds, you have actors that can definitely like carry a tune. And then 80s forward, it's a lot of like, well, you're a name and we're happy that you're here. But then the singing starts and it deviates fairly quickly. I'm going to get into my streaming pick, and it's one that not a lot of folks have seen, but I'm going to beg everyone to... Sorry, I just saw a comment that says Russell Crowe's range is 3 notes.
Nice.
Thank you for that laugh today. My pick is one that not a ton of folks I think I might have seen, but I'm going to beg everyone to watch it. And it's not streaming for free anywhere, but you can rent it for like $2.99 on Amazon or Vudu. And similar to Moulin Rouge, it's so flashy and pop arty that you either like surrender to it or it's not your thing, and that's fine. But it's definitely my thing. And it's a movie called Phantom of the Paradise. And I showed you a few photos before, but it is adapted from Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Picture of Dorian Gray, and Faust, all into one.
Sheesh. That's a sandwich.
It is a rock musical comedy horror by Brian De Palma. And for those of you that aren't familiar with his work, he did The First Mission Impossible, Scarface, Carlito's Way, The Untouchables, Carrie.
Whoa!
He actually met Sissy Spacek when she was the set designer on Phantom of the Paradise, and then cast her for Carrie later. So this movie kicked off a lot of things, and not enough people have seen it. But Brian De Palma, one of my absolute favorite filmmakers, did this movie. It is about a man whose music is essentially stolen by the music industry, and his face is horribly disfigured. So he becomes the phantom of a recording studio and starts torturing all of the acts who steal his music.
Wow.
And then falls in love with the only woman that he thinks is good enough to perform it, who's later the lead actress in Suspiria. And I just put this on whenever I just need a really warm, good hug of just seeing something absolutely amazing. The composer and the villain in this movie is Paul Williams, who has maybe one of the most illustrious composing careers. He did Rainbow Connection for the Muppet movie.
Wow.
Yeah, if you look down his entire list of like Paul Williams' career and you're like, oh, there's a song in my childhood that was formative for me, like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas or something, Paul Williams did it.
Wow.
He was also the villain in this, and he also did an amazing episode of Dexter's Lab in which he played Dexter's piano teacher.
Wow.
But this movie is actually why Daft Punk looks the way they do.
Wait, like that like inspired Daft Punk's aesthetic?
Both of them say all the time that when they met, they both were like 12 and 13, and they fell in love with this movie, and they watched it 20 times over. And it's about this man that makes music with a synthesizer, with a big silver helmet and like a leather costume.
Wow.
And then they actually brought Paul Williams back to write music with them on Random Access Memories and sing on a couple tracks using the Phantom voice that he sang in Phantom of the Paradise.
Wow.
It's, if you haven't seen it, I absolutely, it's how they met.
You sold me.
I
got
beg you.
100%.
Also, somebody pointed out, it's my husband in chat, that you both harmonized on the wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Ooh,
I can't. I'm not joining on that. Or I'll start it and you guys go.
We'll just pitch off of that. I think you've only seen me sing when I was absolutely plastered, so that's the only way that's going to happen.
No, you sound like a Disney. Vanessa sounds like a Disney princess. We all went to karaoke. She sang Part of Your World.
What?
Right?
Oh.
She sounds like a Disney princess.
invite me to these.
You will absolutely be joining us for karaoke. And after a few cocktails, I might just part of your world it up. Also, somebody else pointed in, what are my thoughts on Repo? Positive. I love anything that's a horror musical that's extremely odd and over the top. I can't say enough things about this and why I love it. And the reason I love this is probably why I really enjoyed what we're about to talk about, which is the what we watched for the week. And normally me or someone on the G4 staff or chat may pick the what we watched. But this week, you picked it, and it actually inspired this entire episode. Yay! And it's because of a leg tattoo you showed me.
Dang right. Can I plop my leg?
Leg tattoo? For those of you listening at home on an audio-only format, Courtney is about to plop her leg out so that you can see her incredible Xanadu leg tattoo of Olivia Newton-John rollerblading, skating. I don't know exactly which one it is when it's the four wheels. So this is what inspired this episode. So what musical did you pick?
Okay. Xanadu, baby.
Something that I've only heard of and I literally had no idea what it was about.
Oh my gosh. I know. And it's crazy. It's like, it's people either know about it and love it, I think, or they have never heard of it. And it's insane to me because it's starring Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John and this other guy that I have not even bothered to remember the name because he was only in one other movie that same year, Warriors.
Oh, he was in The Warriors?
Yeah, he was the lead.
He was the lead of The Warriors?
And then he just dropped off the face of the world.
Disappeared.
Two icons, and then he disappears. With
Absolutely
that square
disappeared.
jaw.
But they're like the same aesthetic too, weirdly, like the wardrobe. But
High camp.
yes, yes. This movie, I literally could not tell you how many times I've watched Xanadu. I literally styled my hair throughout high school like Olivia Newton-John. And like, it was like, I wanted to be everything that she was. Like, her performance in that movie changed me as a person. The woman in me, like, is completely shaped around like how she made me feel from that movie. It's just so good.
How old were you when you first watched Xanadu?
A child, like a child, because it's like it's pretty family friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I probably definitely single digits, like probably like 6.
Very formative for you.
Yeah, and I did not stop watching it, and then I became like newly obsessed with it in my adult life, like rewatching it, owning it. It was like the first movie I owned myself on iTunes. That and WALL-E, those are the two I own on iTunes. I
think it was several episodes of Jackass,
nice,
several episodes of Human Giants, and a Kathy Griffith comedy special. Those were my first things I owned on iTunes.
Nice.
Just one episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Which one?
It was the one where they get Lily gets married. Why am I forgetting names? I love this show.
Marshall?
Yeah, Marshall and Lily get married.
Oh, the big iconic one.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening. I just saw that.
I was like, I'm dying right now. Don't mind me.
So for those that don't know and have never seen Xanadu, which highly recommend that you do, what's a quick cliff notes on what the movie's about?
So, yeah, it's about the 9 sisters, which are muses in Greek mythology, and their whole life force destiny is to help people in the world find their destiny, find their thing, their passion. And so Olivia Newton-John plays Kira, who's the youngest muse. She meets this artist who is tired of working at this job where he just paints album covers on big posters all day. And her destiny is to bring this guy and this other guy together to create their destiny, which is a club called Xanadu. And it is the musical aspect. It's produced by Electric Light Orchestra, which
My
is
favorite bands in the universe.
Mr. Blue Sky, if you don't know.
All over the world.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And
Evil
Olivia
Woman.
Newton-John sings like I
Beautifully.
listen to it all the time. It's just part of my normal rotation. And the male lead doesn't sing. They have a
not at all.
mystery voice.
Yeah.
Sing these duets with her. There's an animated sequence. There's literally a tap routine with Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John. And
It's like the Gene Kelly era of tapping.
yeah,
Amazing.
I lost my mind. I didn't know that he was in this into this capacity.
I know. Isn't it insane? I feel like this movie is like musical history. It's like a generational like handoff. Gene Kelly performing with Olivia Newton-John, like with a electric light orchestra like that. I feel like it's so ahead of its time to do something like that. And the visuals, especially like the scripted dialogue stuff is a little slow and a little out of place. But once you get to the musical parts, it's a party, and it's just the ensemble cast throughout all those is like so diverse and very ahead of its time in that aspect, I feel like.
Yeah.
So well done on those parts for sure.
I actually texted Kendall during
Yeah.
because I freaked out because the animation sequence was Don Bluth.
I know!
Oh my God, that was
childhoods.
the craziest part. I was like, is this like a visual telling of his emotions, what he's feeling? Or is this actually happening because she's magic?
Because she teleports, so I was like, maybe they are
Yeah,
she, like-
actually a Don Bluth cartoon.
And
a
then
la
he just
Thumbelina.
accepts it.
Yeah, I have no. You're right, because he didn't
Yeah.
realize that she was a muse yet. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just what they felt. Maybe
Maybe that's what he felt. It was like, that didn't actually happen, even though it did. But I'm just so in love with this woman that this is.
it turned into a cartoon and then into birds and then fish.
And then fish.
I cannot believe how much I fell in love with Olivia Newton-John in this movie.
Yes.
Because I never watched Grease when I was a kid, because I'm just going to share this embarrassing story with the both of you. I grew up afraid of the movie Grease.
Oh yeah, wait, why?
That's-
The look you gave me.
Is it the cars scary?
It was. You know how when you're a child and if something happens after something else happens, you're like causation and correlation.
yes.
So both times my parents tried to watch Grease, an earthquake happened.
Oh no.
So my brain was like, this is the movie that makes earthquakes happen.
Oh my god.
The tape is possessed. So
DVD.
I didn't have that Olivia Newton-John introduction to me. So this is all of the Olivia Newton-John that I got. What were your thoughts watching it for the first time last night?
It blew my mind. I had sure, the story itself was like not predictable in the
Yeah,
sense that,
yeah.
like, they do end up
Boy meets
getting
girl.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy
But like
opens nightclub.
everything in it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, like there's a scene where these two guys, Gene Kelly and what's his name? I don't even know his character's name in the movie because
Because he's Gene Kelly.
it's Gene Kelly next to this other guy that I don't know.
Yeah.
But they are
Spending
trying to
alone.
figure out
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out the aesthetic and the music of the club, and they have two very, very different visions.
I love that scene.
Yes. It's like one's headbanging rock and the other is like very
Jazz, big
swing
band.
music. And then they're showing two songs happening. They cut between two different songs, and then at the very end they merge together, and two sets literally are on like a dolly or something. They slide in and interlace, and the cast like mixes, and the song becomes a mashup. Like a
And
mashup.
it sounds amazing. Like that. I think they did
Yes.
an actual great job in incorporating
chills.
jazz and rock together, which I didn't think was possible.
And like, did mashups even exist back then? Like, I don't think that was a very popular thing to do.
It's so funny because this and Phantom of the Paradise were two things that I think predicted some early music stuff.
Yeah.
Because Phantom of the Paradise basically predicted the band The Misfits. There's a band in it that is essentially The Misfits. And this, when it came to like a lot of like the synthy mashups that we see now, it was very much like ahead of its time. I felt like that scene specifically felt the most musical theater.
Yes, 100%.
The choreography is all done by Kenny Ortega. Are you a Kenny Ortega fan?
I'm a huge Kenny Ortega fan. I watched a few making ofs last night of this.
Really?
Yeah, I found
Tell me
out
about it.
that the script is only 45 minutes long. I found out Gene Kelly did not want to dance, but then he met up with Kenny Ortega, and for half an hour they did a few Gene Kelly type dances, and then Gene Kelly was like, I'm in, I'm dancing.
Wow.
So
Imagine
Kenny
if he
Ortega is the
didn't
reason.
dance in this.
Yeah.
Because
That's
like
amazing.
I grew up the biggest Gene Kelly fan. Singing in the Rain is what made me want to get into the entertainment industry. And my favorite cartoon when I was a kid was a movie called Cats Don't Dance. And Gene
Yes.
Kelly did all the choreo for the animated characters.
Wow. Yeah.
So like
And
any
for
of the
each character,
for
right?
each
Yeah.
character. And
Oh
so
my
he was like,
gosh.
this is how a cat moves, this is how a turtle moves. Like and he did something similar when they were doing test photography with like Tom and Jerry, where it's Gene Kelly dancing alongside Jerry and him kind of following along.
Wow.
So Gene and animation are like not strangers to each other in
That's
any
so cool.
sense of it. But he's the dude I talk about when I'm like consummate showman, like the guys that can do everything,
Yes.
can do everything well. And at his age in this movie, this is his last like on-screen performance. He's outshining everyone around him.
100%.
His acting is so smooth. Like, there's a stupid line in it. It's like so the lead is like searching for this girl, and he falls into the ocean, like because he wasn't looking on his bike or something. And then he's talking to Gene Kelly in the diner later. They've become best friends for no reason.
This girl, by the way, just lets him take a bike.
Yeah.
A motorbike.
Oh yeah. The whole
everyone
thing in
wants
this,
to bang him.
Yeah. They make it very clear in this movie that they're like, hey, I got a friend. Do you think you want to date him? Like everybody who walks by this guy, this very average looking guy, but they're like, yeah, you want to borrow my bike? Sure. Bring it back in person. Literally, that's the line.
Yeah. Everyone wants some of Sonny's ... in this movie.
But when yes. But when
why?
he gets wet, literally why? But Gene Kelly, after he gets wet and they have this whole best friend conversation, and he's like, oh, hey, and by the way, try not looking underwater. And it's the silliest line, but it's Gene Kelly, so you're like,
He sells
yeah.
it and you buy it. Bill Woods in the chat pointed out that Kenny Ortega choreographed Dirty Dancing. Not only did he choreograph Dirty Dancing, he also choreographed the concert tours for Miley Cyrus, Gloria Estefan, and Michael Jackson. He directed Hocus Pocus, High School Musical. If you've enjoyed choreography or camp behind something, chances are Kenny Ortega was standing nearby at some point. I adored this movie, and it was very critically maligned at the time when it came out. Universal actually canceled press screenings because they weren't confident in the movie. And it actually kickstarted something that is like my least favorite thing in the universe now, which was the Razzies. It won the first Razzie for worst. In general, I think the Razzies are just like not an institution that I enjoy because like every time anything comes out is a miracle. And also like there's room for camp. Like
there's room for camp, and there's room for people working their asses off.
Yeah, like there's elements to it where I'm like, sure, I wish certain things were better shot because the choreography is so good that I wanted to have the like justice that it deserves. But also it's so surreal and campy that I can absolutely see myself putting this on when I need to feel good later because I just need that like serotonin injection straight to the temple.
Yeah, I actually a couple years ago showed this movie to my castmates Ian and Damien, and they made a comment that I cannot unsee now, which is they're like, this is like The Room. It has bad ADR and it's really slow. And I was like, whoa, yeah, because there's a lot of parts where like the line was clearly recorded later and it's like not very seamlessly put in. And it's just like there's slow editing in random spots. And I was just like, damn it.
To their defense, they were at the beach a lot, and you cannot have perfect sound at the beach.
Very true.
This is what it sounds like when you're recording something at the beach.
There you go.
Obviously, they would have to ADR a few things. And also, like, there's a couple moments in Mamma Mia where things were also ADR'd, but also I've seen quite literally at least 60 Kung Fu movies. So ADR does
Yeah, very true. Very true.
It's something in my universe that is not like an important thing to me. I make a lot of room for ADR. A lot of Italian horror movies is a lot of like a woman saying something like, the man with the gloves entered my bedroom at night. Like, it's no big thing to me.
Yeah.
I was absolutely blown away by how much I enjoyed this. I didn't know that it started as a low budge roller skating movie, and then it became what it became, and then they just kept the roller skating part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had 0 stars, and then they got 2 big stars, and they're like, we have to make it a big thing now.
I loved it.
But we'll keep rollerblades.
It's destiny.
It's absolute destiny.
I memorized the line she said of what they should call
Oh my God.
the club.
Well, give it to us.
Snap, snap, snap.
In Xanadu, did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree? Then she stopped. She stopped talking.
And then he says,
And then he says a line. Yeah.
Xanadu. And and the most iconic part of the movie is that final performance on opening night of this club. Spoilers?
Oh, Abound.
I mean,
go for it.
It's crazy because it's like a rapid fire of a bunch of different songs, all different genres. She rips through like rock, country, and then goes to like another one, and then the big Xanadu finish. And like the wardrobe changes and her performance in this just blew me away. There's this one song called Fool, where it's like the rock thing, and she's in this like tiger print skirt and vest set, and she's all sweaty. Yes, a lot of butt shots, and the guy, of course, the fucking guy is on the show, and he's on down the stairs of the stage, and he's like slapping his knee off beat to the song, just like,
I love that man.
Poor guy. Yeah, poor guy. But finding love, all about finding love. But yeah, that song's not released anywhere.
Really?
Fool. That one is not anywhere to be found, but all the other ones are. Not the country bit, not Fool. Those little performance bits, nowhere to be found.
I'm definitely going to watch this again to watch the actors in the background.
Oh, you have to.
Every one of these background actors are both giving it all or giving nothing all at the same time.
So true.
Wait, can we talk about the part where he jumps into the wall?
Oh, yeah, dude.
When he's just pacing the wall, wondering if he's going to skate at full speed
like,
into a concrete wall.
She's at the wall, and he's like, oh.
I showed it to one of my friends, and he literally was like, imagine if he just skated into the wall. I was like,
Just broken
And then
teeth.
she
Nose
like shows
bleeding.
up and goes, dude,
like, what are you doing?
what are you doing?
You're a human.
I'm right here.
Dvox77X in the chat. Xanadu, I always wonder who's the girl in the end. Kira Reborn or just a lookalike? What are your theories?
The way, okay, you have very strong.
Kendall, you're
I have
camping at
I
the
have a
bit.
longer theory.
Okay, I think it's just like she's there, but they're like acting like coy and flirty. Like it's still her. That's mine.
Okay.
My theory is that she can't really remember her past Muse experiences because there was the whole Gene Kelly part
Yeah.
where, like, I guess it was back then when he was a clarinet player, and then they did like a whole like past remembrance.
Yes.
dance.
Oh, I loved the
Yeah.
Remembrance dance.
Yeah, because turns out the Muse
Yeah.
helps Gene Kelly's character decades before find his destiny.
Yeah,
and then,
get out of music, which makes him a philanthropist construction guy, and
Yeah.
then he's like trying to find a club. She meets our main character, then they make the club, and she's like, this guy's Muse now. But then, like, what if she's back as someone else's Muse? It's just not for him.
And she just has to hang
And
out.
she just
well.
has to hang out until she's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why didn't she remember Gene Kelly?
that's
It was
very
obviously
true.
her.
Yeah, because I think it's almost like there was a moment where Gene Kelly's character was like, yeah, it's her.
Yeah,
He
right?
knew.
Somebody theorized in the chat, and I'm so sorry, your name flew by, but it was that he had a concussion from running into the wall. And
Nice.
that's what his brain made.
Nice. Love that.
I can see it.
It's so good. I like, so that tattoo that I got that a month or so before Olivia Newton-John passed away. And she also passed away on the day that this movie was released.
What?
Just decades later.
She's someone's Muse right now.
She's all our muse. She's all our muse
Where's that?
now.
Bless up.
She was
What's
the
up,
first
Olivia
muse.
Newton-John? All right. So normally I do a 1 through 10, but let's do a 1 through 9. How many out of 9 muses would you give this movie? 9 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
I think just because I'm such a big Gene Kelly and Kenny Ortega fan and I know it's like his last movie and like he didn't want to dance and then he did, it like bumped it up for me.
Yeah.
So I'm at like, I don't even know, 7.58 muses.
7.58
Yeah.
muses.
Because it's just so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at a solid 8 muses. The Gene Kelly, I adored every single part of it. And also this is the movie that has made me fall in love with Olivia Newton-John the way everybody else has like urged me to. Like I grew up with my mom listening to her music all the time. My mom is the biggest Olivia Newton-John fan and now I get it. But like being able to get one last performance out of Gene Kelly and going from seeing him as like the original consummate showman to like seeing him still perform and have it at the age that he had, I was so carried away by this movie. It's absolutely 8 out of 9 muses.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say 8 out of 9 muses as well. I think it would have been a 9 if the male lead actually sang
Yes.
Yeah.
and was,
a little bit more than drywall.
And more memorable.
He's hot dish for the year.
He has like, I guess they maybe were trying to be like, oh, he has like the Harry Styles effect where like when you know his art, then you know how hot he is.
That might be what it was in the universe, where it was like, he's like the fastest painter.
He's the his hands in his, wow, he's paints so fast.
Oh my God, he's so accurate with his painting.
He's like, is that what you want out of a painter, the fastest painter?
No.
So if he sang and was maybe like if he was a little bit more in Olivia Newton-John's league, that would have been a solid 9 out of 9 muses. Oh, chat also giving it. Rabid Bunny Man is Gene Kelly, the Kevin Pereira of musicals. I've actually said Kevin Pereira is the Gene Kelly of television hosting. So yes.
Nice.
Let's go for some chat questions before we go to the aptly named segment, Let's Get Physical. Travis Squag would like to know, if you could make your own musical, what would it be about?
Wow. My own musical.
I know. It's so funny because when we initially started this episode, I was like, I don't know if I like musicals. And then I was like, Cats Don't Dance, Little Shop, Repo, South Park. All right, I actually do really like musicals. I would love to do anything in this space. Like, I would love to do a like straight horror musical, something that's very like synthy leaving, and I assume they already like exist, but I would love to do an Italian giallo horror movie musical. That would just be my like dream project. And I know you're a director in addition to writer as well.
Yes.
So musicals.
I mean, my dream was always to direct music videos. So a musical, my God, that's up there. I don't know why motorcycles went into my head. Me and Fiona have been talking a lot about just motorcycles because she got her license and they've been riding it to work and everything. I am really into dirt biking and
really.
Yeah, I used to do it a lot when I was younger. I haven't done it in forever, but it's something that I'm trying to get back into, and Fiona's definitely inspired me. But you know Charlie's Angels Full Throttle?
Yes, I love that movie.
And that motorcycle, that dirt bike racing scene.
More in like a bar and a bra and the fur coat.
Yeah.
I had a lot of
oh my
about
gosh.
that movie.
That movie's incredible. Musical version of that, of dirt biking badassery. I don't know, that could be fun.
A dirt bike movie would be fun as hell.
Oh, 100%.
Do you have anything that you'd want to go in that
I feel like
direction?
it would be cool to do just like a D&D type musical, but then the lines get blurred because there's bards, you know?
An improvised D&D musical feels like an idea that you just incepted that maybe should be written down by someone.
Don't steal it. Don't steal it. You don't.
Dude, musical improv is my favorite kind of improv, so do that.
All right, let me get to a next question. Somebody asked if Tenacious D was the best musical. I almost picked that one.
Love Tenacious D.
Do you love Tenacious D?
Yo, I was gonna be like School of Rock, Tenacious D, just like somewhere in that world, his world.
Yeah. No, Jack Black is a man that was made for musicals.
Yes.
And he should be in more of them. Another dude that is a consummate showman that I feel like we don't think about how much that man sings, dances, acts, writes music.
And doesn't look like he could, you know?
I think he needs to come back and do that.
100%.
I got to the Mamma Mia Papa part. Oh, this is just a fact that someone shared. 123 Eat Pants said there used to be a ton of musicals in the 20s and 30s. Over time, this subsided, but in India, their movies started during the musical era, and they've just never stopped. That's why there's always a musical number in their movies. And we actually just did an action movie called RRR that literally has musical act in the middle. Have you seen this?
I've seen so many clips. I feel like I basically saw the movie.
I've seen a bunch of clips. The suspenders dance. Sick.
It is the Xanadu of action movies.
Oh, don't you tease me with a good time.
I swear. I think you might actually be into it for that reason because it's so over the top and wonderful. Let's see. Jared Pavao asks, which TV series has your favorite musical episode? Right off the bat, I'm going to say Scrubs.
Scrubs?
Scrubs had a musical episode in which a woman had a tumor in her brain, so everything sounds like music to her. And
That's
it has
right.
some great musical numbers in it because Donald Faison can sing. Sarah Chalk couldn't, but she tried her best. But I love the Scrubs musical episode.
I think the only one that I don't think I've seen a lot of TV show musical episodes other than that 70s show. But I don't know if you guys remember both the women in that show had someone else sing for them, and they should have swapped the people who sang for them because they were not accurate to the person at all.
This is not like a musical moment, but like in How I Met Your Mother, there's two that really like stand out to me. But it's really just Neil Patrick Harris singing, and it's just him singing the "I Just Got Slapped" song.
Yes.
And the last season is when the mom sings "Levy and Rose."
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's not
never
like
saw
musical
that.
moments, but those are just like right in my brain.
Nice.
Neil Patrick Harris had a Tony's performance in which he does a magic trick and jumps through a tiny hoop.
I watched that.
And he did the whole thing.
I watched that I literally watched that recently, like 3 times in a row. Because they literally, do you know the story behind that? How they
No.
literally planned this insane routine and like they wanted stuff to go wrong. They were expecting for something to go wrong, but that night they nailed it perfectly somehow.
Oh my God. Also, chat is bringing up the Nothing Men, specifically the Buffy the Vampire.
Yeah,
musical.
I've heard the
feeling.
Buffy. I'm watching Buffy right now for the first time.
Me too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm only a couple seasons in.
Yeah.
But I've heard that the musical episode, like it won awards and stuff. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. Mega J asks, do the Disney animated movies count as musicals? Absolutely.
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
I almost did Anastasia for my pick instead of Moulin Rouge today. Because,
Another Don Bluth one, which is amazing.
Yes.
and that's technically Disney now.
They own it.
She's Fox now,
Yeah.
which is under Disney.
Dang right.
It was the first movie I ever told my movie was the best movie ever.
Wait, what?
Anastasia. I came home and I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And she was like, you're 4. So,
But you knew what you were talking
but
about.
I knew what I
Dang,
was talking
yeah.
about. Because Once Upon a December moved me.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What are your all-time favorite Disney musicals?
Disney musicals.
I think right now for me, it's probably, even though I think the movie is like fine, I think Moana had the best
Oh yeah.
music just because it basically has a David Bowie crab song.
Yeah. It's funny. When I first saw Frozen, I did not see any trailers, or I think I saw maybe a billboard from far away. Didn't even realize that I was going into a Disney movie. And because I saw it at like the El Capitan, and they like make a whole thing of it, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, why do they have people dressed up as the characters coming out? Interesting. And it plays, and then I was like, oh, I didn't even know like it was a musical. I didn't know what I was watching. And so Frozen, I know it sounds kind of basic, but like that one was incredible in terms of music. And then Tangled.
Tangled. I was going to say Tangled, but
my
maybe
God,
because
I
I
loved it.
relate to her.
Yeah, I feel like I see a lot of myself in
Yeah.
Rapunzel.
And also it gave us more Mandy Moore.
Yes.
Somebody brought up exclamation mark Q, thoughts on diegetic music, aka music scenes where the music takes place in the universe. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. That organically happens in that universe. Neil Patrick Harris actually played Hedwig once. I love Hedwig. I know 3 different people with Hedwig tattoos. I believe
Wow.
Rachel Evans has one.
Oh, yeah.
I think she has a Hedwig tattoo on her arm. All of my favorite people have Hedwig tattoos.
It's funny. I think Moulin Rouge has stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like
diegetic.
both. Yeah.
Thinking all of the entire Enchanted movie.
Oh my God, Enchanted.
Enchanted.
Oh my
I've
God.
never seen it.
Oh my
Oh,
we have to redo
and they just
this
announced the
episode.
sequel.
Yes,
So you
Disenchanted.
gotta watch it.
All right, it's
Literally, Patrick. I forgot his name again. Anyway,
Neil Patrick Harris,
no,
Patrick
Dempsey.
Bateman. Okay,
I think it's Patrick Dempsey.
The lead, the male lead.
Yes. Anyway, he's like, "What is happening? Why are people singing? He knows this song. Why does? Oh,
Yeah.
you know this song too? Oh, we're all just singing.
It's meta, yeah. It's so good.
So good.
Psychor asks, do you think mainstream actors like Hugh Jackman should learn to sing for musicals, or should they cast a different actor?
Hugh Jackman came from Broadway.
Yeah.
I don't. What is this
Yeah.
question?
So maybe
Yeah,
let's
I don't
do
Sorry.
a different. Let's
No, I
let's
feel
say like let's go with a Pierce Brosnan, a dude that we know
Yeah.
can't sing. Do you feel like we should go with like the star power actors, or just find someone that can sing?
I like a mix of both. I don't think, in terms of like a lead,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it's tough. I think it depends on the context of the movie and if they are the lead or not.
yeah, because for Greatest Showman, Hugh Jackman was like a part of like pitching it to get greenlit and everything.
Yeah.
Like he at first couldn't sing his songs when they were pitching it to people to fund it because like he had like a nose surgery or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, he had like cancer.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yes,
that's a little different than nose surgery.
I think that's what it was, and they had to like.
But yeah, for something like that, like he was part of it. Like, okay, so if a star is like part of the pitching of like doing the movie, I think it makes sense to have them in. But like also, I love giving opportunities to talented people who clearly deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for me. A lot of like unknown actors that like came out of the woodwork as incredible singers. Like the actor, we've bonded over Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. One of my all-time, I'm not sure, have you seen Crazy?
I haven't actually.
TV
haven't seen
series, and
Crazy
it's really good.
It is absolutely fantastic TV series. It has a musical number on every single one.
Oh, wow.
And the actress that plays Donna, when she does that manipulative codependency song of Donna Knows Best.
Yes. Yes.
My God, the amount of times that song does a banger on mental illness.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Highly recommend.
Okay, cool.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And then,
I thought of an example of this question.
Go for it.
Like La La Land. I know
You have thoughts.
I have thoughts, but it's just like that's just like a movie where it's like they're not singers, but they have star power, but they can sing. You know?
It's interesting. I think in that instance, it's a little frustrating that they aren't incredible singers because they're the whole movie. The first number is about how millions of people are in LA to make it and to show their talent. That whole ensemble number where there's incredible singers, incredible dancers, like we're all trying to make it, and then you go to two stars who like can sing. You know, it's like kind of is almost hypocritical in a sense, but
Yeah, because like they actually did a really good job of this specifically in Schitt's Creek when they do that song from Cabaret. Maybe It's Me. This is just something that's like a bit of a pet peeve of mine when it comes to musicals sometimes. Sometimes a performance isn't being like the absolute best in that scenario, but it's embodying what that person feels. And Maybe It's Me is sang by a woman that thinks she's a bit of a loser, that's trying to win and is having like a hard one. And it's not so much like sing it badly, it's sing it as somebody that's like at their absolute lowest point. And most people do it with like big theater kid voice, which is not what that calls for. And in Schitt Creek, that actress did such a good job of being like small and broken the entire time that it's maybe my favorite version of
I like that. I do like La La Land. But yeah, in that aspect, it's crazy how like the first Grease, everybody's extremely talented, great singers. And then Grease 2, they made a point to, because I'm just talking about musicals, they brought in like almost entirely new cast.
Yeah.
But the lead, what's his name? The male lead couldn't sing.
Let me see his name.
And then the leader of the T-Birds could sing, but do you know?
It was like, is that his style of singing?
Yeah. And I don't know if whoever has seen Grease 2, the bowling
Maxwell
alley number.
Caulfield.
Maxwell Caulfield. So cute. But him and Michelle Pfeiffer, like if Michelle Pfeiffer hadn't done Scarface immediately after, her career would have been over because Maxwell only had like one other thing after that where he played like an asshole celebrity at a record store.
Oh, Empire Records.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and a little movie that I love called Waxwork 2. It's about it's a sequel to a movie about haunted wax figures. It's great.
Oh.
Wow.
That's a musical?
Yeah. Not a musical, but it is fantastic. But yeah, I haven't seen Grease 2, but I'm probably in for the Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah, her acting is a standalone.
It's so good.
And she's incredible as the villain in Hairspray. Absolutely fantastic. So we've come now past the question segment towards the last segment, which is one of my absolute favorites called Let's Get Physical, in which I beg you to take up space in your home with a piece of media that I think deserves to be there. Do either of y'all collect physical media, or you're like just on the streaming end of things now?
I'm mostly streaming. I have a VHS of Grease 2 on my bookshelf.
Oh my
It was a
God.
gift, but yeah.
I love that. And I feel like that's where physical media is now, where just you get pieces that you think are just like special or important to you. Mm-hmm. I'm a little pack rat about it. If it's on sale, I get it.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't, just because my roommate / best friend, he does.
Wow.
I was like, why should I get double if he's going to have it?
What's he collect?
Just pick from his library.
Just literally everything. Like he'll get the DVD, he'll get little figurines.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I actually remembered to bring in my physical copy this week because I've forgotten for the last 3.
Oh my God.
And this one is another one from the Criterion collection. And I decided to keep it in theme. I don't always, but this week I wanted to. And it's a Polish movie called The Lure. It's 90 minutes. It is about Carnivore Mermaid Sisters. It's a more faithful adaptation of the Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid, who become strippers that do murders, and one of them falls in love. And I would open this to show you the inside of the booklet, but there's boobs. So I'm just going to hand this to Courtney and Kendelle. But if you haven't seen this, it is a fantastic rock opera that is extremely violent. They're enjoying the boobs. The Criterion collection actually comes with a making of documentary, deleted scenes, including more boobs, 2 short films, an essay, and then it has that beautiful new cover. It's currently on sale at the Criterion actual collection store. Please bring the lure into your home. Watch these cannibal Polish mermaids sing to incredible synthy soundtracks in gorgeous nightclubs as they murder dudes and fall in love.
Love it.
And since The Little Mermaid is currently in the cultural zeitgeist, add this to your collection. It is much closer to the original version, which is why it is much more violent.
Wow.
It does include the bloody leg stumps. And thank you so much to the both of you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. This is so fun.
I love
we didn't
movies.
break out into song.
We
Should
didn't. Will we get demonetized or something? I'm on YouTube. I don't
We
know.
might get that DMCA.
Yeah.
We might get that DMCA. But Courtney, where can people find you?
I'm at Comil on everything. You can catch me over at Smosh, baby.
And Kendelle, where can the people find you?
You can find me just all socials at Kendelle Lynn.
Hey.
Yeah, that's basically all I got.
Nice.
You can find me under NESS Guerrero on Twitter, and SNES Guerrero on Instagram. And I also host another movie podcast called Kicking and Screaming, where we take horror movies and martial arts movies and I make them kiss, because that's one of my favorite things to do. And next week, we're going to be joined by Cassim and Fiona. And the subject for next week is movies you show someone when you're dating to see what their reaction is.
Ooh.
Do you want to see some red flags come out? Do you want to see them like something that you're really into? Do you want to see if they enjoy lowbrow comedy? What movies do you show someone when you're dating to get a read on them? And the movie that we're all watching, Fiona actually picked this week, and it's a movie she always shows people when she's dating, and it's Surf's Up. So we're gonna be watching
love Surf's
the
Up.
movie.
That is a good choice.
That
there
one I
are
gotta
red
show.
flags in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
For people.
So
Oh
we
my
will
gosh.
be talking about those red flags, movies that help you suss out red flags and partners next week. As always, I love you so much. Please enjoy this week's movie. I highly recommend that you watch Xanadu. Join us on the social medias, the Reddits, the Discords. Tell us what you would have picked instead, what your pick would be for next week, and how you liked this week's pick. And be excellent to each other. I love you all. Bye.